Hello and welcome to episode 174 of Controller Club, the friendly face gaming space, a podcast where three friends from three continents share in one love, and that is video games. On today's show, Ubisoft has stepped in it again. We are getting a live action Pokemon update, and we will be drafting the very best Mario power-ups with a Nintendo expert. But first, let's introduce ourselves today. My name is Kleinfeld, and alongside me today are I think I can say this, are two of my best friends in the whole wide gaming world. First, coming to us from across the pond, it is the digital art daredevil himself, Tom Drew. Tom, how's it going? What's going on?
Yeah, it's going okay. This past weekend, I was just mentioning to Klein off air that I touched grass. This weekend, I was at a friend's 30th birthday party, and part of that was like this sports day sort of thing where we're doing three-legged races, we're doing egg and spoon races, we're doing sprints. So I'm
You
a little
described it
achy
as
after
like
that.
a real life Disney Channel games. If that
Yeah,
is like
basically.
that puts it into a place for some people.
I always wanted to be on that that show, and I was like, I'm living the dream right now. But yeah, I like fell over when did the sprint, and I just ate dirt basically. So a little injured. Maybe the game isn't apt for the sprinting events. It turns out, but we're doing a podcast. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, aging gracefully, Tom Drew. Next up, it is not Lauren Rouse. Lauren is actually in the Big Apple right now, covering New York Comic Con for the Direct.com, having so much fun. So we thought we would bring in one of our favorite guests, executive editor at Game Informer and host of the All Things Nintendo podcast. And I found out this week, a former, like, almost semi-pro Guitar Hero rock band player, Brian Shea. Brian, how are you? How are things? What's going on in your life?
I'm doing great. It's busy review season over at Game Informer, so we are just like all head down on that. Plus, we're gearing up for our end of the year discussions, which are always kind of brutal and contentious. So we're kind of like starting to build those walls around our hearts as we like prepare to take each other's top picks of the year out and try to construct a cohesive top 10 list for what the best games of this year were. But for now, we're chilling. We're playing all the great games that are coming out. I've been diving into some in my spare time, been reviewing a bunch in my work time. But Tom, I also feel your pain because I went to a birthday gathering in a park a couple of weeks ago, and I had just come home from Paris where I bought these really nice pants that I loved. And they were like, "Hey, let's play some volleyball." And I got a little too into it because I played a little bit of volleyball in college, so I don't have like that like low gear when it comes to volleyball. I'm just go go go, and I dove and just a grass stain from the knee to the ankle,
Oh
and dry
no.
cleaners could do their best, but they couldn't get it completely out. So I feel your pain in the hey, I'm at this event that is making me feel obligated to do physical activity and then falling over.
Yeah, well, you want
It comes
you want
for
to
all
prove
of us.
yourself, you know. Like you want to be like, okay, I'm gonna do my best, and then it just yeah. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, you know.
Brian, you mentioned Game Informer. I think last time we talked, you had earlier this year, obviously, you guys relaunch independent. You guys are holding on to it yourselves and having so much fun. How has it been? How are things going? As you mentioned, we are in the middle of review season, so it is like the busiest of busy times for the Game Informer team. But what's it like being back with the crew, and how's everything been going over the last little while?
I mean, it's fantastic. The biggest thing that like I missed outside of just, having a job when we were shut down was working with all these folks and doing the stuff that we get to do on a daily basis. And it's safe to say we're back doing all that and having an amazing time. It's of course stressful to put out an issue every few weeks while also trying to, do all these other things, but it's a dream job when I got it 11 years ago, and it's still a dream job to this day. So I'm super stoked that we're back, and I think that everybody on the team is super stoked that we're back.
Excellent. Well, we're happy you're here. So let's get into the podcast. We'll jump into the news first, and then we'll do our Mario Power Up draft. So let's start the news we choose. Tom Drew, give us that jingle.
It's the news we choose. Yeah.
We're going to start on a bit of a negative note. I know, Brian, you over at the All Things Nintendo podcast, you like to keep things as positive as you can. And we like to do that here as well. But when people need to be called out, you have to bring it up. So this is my story this week. Ubisoft has canceled a Civil War Assassin's Creed game. This is coming from Sophie McAvoy at GameIndustry.biz. She writes, Ubisoft reportedly scrapped an Assassin's Creed game set after the American Civil War due to, quote, online backlash of Yasuke and Assassin's Creed Shadows and a quote, increasingly intense political climate in the United States. That's according to GameFile, which spoke with 5 current and former Ubisoft employees who shared information anonymously. The game, claimed to have been in the concept phase, was said to take place during the Reconstruction period in the 1860s and 1870s. Its protagonist would have been a formerly enslaved black man recruited by assassins to, quote, fight for justice in a conflict that would, among other things, see him confront the emergence of the Ku Klux Klan. 3 sources claimed that they had become aware the game had been canceled last July. They alleged management in Paris ended in development due to, quote, online backlash regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows protagonist Yasuke, based on a black samurai who served Oda Nobunaga during the Sengoku period in Japan, and concerns that, quote, the political climate in the United States was becoming increasingly intense. One source said they were, quote, terribly disappointed but not surprised by leadership for canceling the project. Quote, they're making more and more decisions to maintain the political status quo and take no stand, no risk, even creative, the source claimed. GameIndustry.biz reached out to Ubisoft, but the firm declined to comment on GameFile's report. So this is one of the big stories from this week, a canceled Civil War Assassin's Creed game. I want to know, what do we think that this is the reason, the reasoning that seems to be putting out there by these former and current anonymous employees, that it was because of online backlash from the Assassin's Creed Shadows reveal, which we talked plenty about last year when that happened, and then a increasingly intense political climate. One of us on the podcast today, only one, is actually from the United States, so I think we'll go to you first, Brian, somebody who has to live in this, what I'll call a hellscape every single day. Thoughts and feelings. How are we feeling coming off of this news?
It's just frustrating and entirely predictable with Ubisoft. Like, even when they make games that have like political undertones, they have always been somewhat toothless. And then they've also been struggling a lot lately in terms of like financials and everything. Like, their past few years of like quarterly earnings, I don't believe have been particularly positive. There's been threats of like hostile takeovers in recent years, and this, them kind of misreading what I think has largely been bad faith arguments from either influencers or bots, or those monkeys that we saw in Superman. Like, these are all like just the corporate leadership just becoming cowards, essentially, and in fear not only of backlash, but in fear that their financials are going to come up worse than they already are, because they have to make, at least from the executives' perspective, they have to make the safe calls because they're not doing particularly well. And the risk that they run in doing that is not only bowing to these basically fabricated, manufactured outrage that people are doing, and bots, but also they're going to alienate the people who do like when they make these stands and make these like games that actually have something to say. And so they're going to end up creating probably a more vanilla experience, and it's not going to be nearly as interesting, nearly as compelling. And of course, I do want to give the caveat that these are just reports. Stephen Totillo, who is the guy who did the original reporting for GameFile, he did reach out to Ubisoft. Ubisoft did not return his emails to like confirm or deny, or just give like the boilerplate no comment. I also reached out to Ubisoft. They did not return my emails either. I'm assuming they are just remaining quiet on this one. So we don't have any official confirmation that this is true, but Stephen Totillo is one of the most seasoned reporters in the games industry, one of the more reliable reporters in the games industry. So I do believe the report. We just have to give that caveat that it is simply a report.
I do think it's quite funny looking at the history of the Assassin's Creed franchise, because like this is a series of games that it's not like they've strayed away from these, what I would say, more edgy political ideas before. Like, maybe they haven't taken the dive in like some might expect, but like I think back to Assassin's Creed 3, where you're playing like an indigenous protagonist and killing colonizers and like founding fathers, and or even Assassin's Creed 1, like I fairly certain the final boss in that I think is the Pope.
I
And
think
like,
that's 2.
is that 2? Okay. So even so, I understand maybe I don't understand. I can see why a corporation as big as Ubisoft in the current situation that we are in would take a stand like this and cancel a game. It sucks. This sounds awesome. I would love this.
Mhm.
I personally think like Assassin's Creed 3, I don't think it's like the best playing game, but it's one of the most, I think, interesting settings for an Assassin's Creed. It's a very unique setting amongst the other entries in the series, and I would have loved to have seen that franchise go back to this early American time. But I don't know, Tom, what do you think about this? Being somebody who obviously you're on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean from where all of this tension is happening, but it's a interesting predicament to look at.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, I'm kind of far removed from it, but I'm also still, I feel the kind of impact of it all still. So, yeah, I basically echo what you guys say. I don't like the idea that like Ubisoft just kind of wants to sanitize the Assassin's Creed brand for the sake of not trying to upset these people. It just leads to the games and art that really doesn't make like that much of an impact. I don't think that's something that the Assassin's Creed like franchise needs right now. I know like I can see the kind of idea of they're like, oh, we want to make it as like I guess open to as many people as possible. Um, but like I don't think that's worked for like the Assassin's Creed formula for a while now to kind of make these games as mainstream as possible. When they announced Shadows, granted, I didn't get around to playing it because I just didn't have time to. But it was like this is the first time I was like, oh, this is like an interesting angle. But so the fact that they're kind of pushing away from that, it is just quite disappointing.
There's all these complaints that like, oh, DEI is actually stifling art and it's making people create things that aren't what they want to create. But this is an example of the exact
Exact
opposite of that.
opposite.
Yeah, this is somebody.
Yeah.
This is a team that wanted to make this story, and the backlash against DEI is causing them to cancel it. And I do want to shout out Evan Narcisse, who is he works in the games industry, but he's also a comic book writer. He's written several Black Panther comic books. I think he wrote a Captain America Sam Wilson comic book, and he put this on Blue Sky when this scoop came out from Stephen Totillo. He said, you know, when people have asked me about my dream game, I've always said a runaway slave and an underground railroad project or something set in or around the Haitian Revolution. Someone somewhere is already taking this on and infusing the work with all the courage that the subject matter deserves. So basically, you know, kind of in a few extra words, calling Ubisoft cowards in in doing this, I think, and you know, hoping that a studio that is willing to actually have something to say about it, which you know Ubisoft has traditionally kind of steered away from, uh, will be taking on a project such as this. Also, I do want to point out that when it becomes controversial that Nazis and KKK members are bad guys, that is when you know that we're in a bad place.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
put up on Blue Sky earlier this week. I said, now more than ever, do we need a new Wolfenstein game? Like this,
Mm-hmm.
would a game like that even happen in the climate that we're currently in? Would, I guess, Xbox now, Bethesda, Machine Games, like, would that ever see the light of day? I guess that they made Indiana Jones and you're fighting Nazis in that, but I think punching Nazis in the head as Indiana Jones is a little different to what you're doing in the Wolfenstein games. And I think that this is cowardly on Ubisoft's part. If it happened again, it's all reported. I think this game sounds awesome, like a Django Unchained, essentially Assassin's Creed game. Like that sounds amazing. Taking out the founding members of the KKK, like that sounds like such a cool, unique angle for this franchise to go in. A franchise that for a long time everyone was just, this is stale. It's getting boring. I hope we go to Japan one day. We went to Japan, and now we're kind of looking at the future of Assassin's Creed, going, what do we do next?
And
And
they
this
went to
could have
Japan
been
too late.
exactly. They went to Japan too late.
Exactly.
They went to Japan in the same year that Ghost of Yotei came out, and it's just, it really, really bums me out that the I don't know, these loud internet trolls are swaying creative decisions like this potentially, and that is like, that's so stupid. Let people make the art they want to make. Let them, if they want to make a statement, let them make a statement. That's what art is for. It's just so frustrating and disheartening to see this happen.
Yeah, and like going off of the Ghost of Yotei thing, it's not the same situation, obviously, but that game is led by a woman, and like there was backlash to that. But I don't see Sucker Punch like bowing down to like the internet hordes like lambasting against that. It seems like they're sticking to their guns, and all the better for it. Like the game's incredible. Like I'm seeing sales numbers, but I'm sure it's selling well. And like I don't know. I just feel like this is it's a it's a troubling sign, and I think it's just gonna like lead to more of these kind of decisions in Ubisoft's corner if this is what is happening actually. And I just think it's gonna be the worse off for them because the games are just ultimately not gonna appeal to anyone at that point.
Let's move on from some pretty intense stuff to what I would call fairly light and fun news. Tom Drew, you have a news story written by me.
Yeah, both of these stories are coming from you today, Klein, because this comes from Klein fell to the direct, it turns out, because Pokemon, the live-action Netflix series that they're working on, has just got an update. So according to a new report, the live-action Pokemon series is still in development at Netflix, and it could receive more news soon. Insider My Time to Shine Hello shared the update on Twitter, revealing that the streamer is still pursuing the adaptation, and fans will receive more information, quote, next year. This is just the latest scoop on the in the works Pokemon series that fans have gotten. In July, known scooper Daniel Richtman shared that the series will focus on the main character in the original Pokemon games, Red, and not Ash Ketchum, the hero from the long-running Pokemon anime. The series was first unveiled back in 2021, with Lucifer's Joe Henderson set to helm the project. After that, the next significant update came in 2023, when it was reported that the show was still in development and was heading into pre-production at the time. Yeah, so it's been a while since we've kind of heard too much about this show. My Time to Shine Hello, I will say, track record is a bit rocky, but I will say, coming from this report, I think for me at least, it passed the sniff test just because next year's the 30th anniversary. It would make sense they'd want to be pushing this sort of stuff and have this kind of big blowout media wise. But does this excite us in general of the kind of idea of a Netflix live action Pokemon series? And do we have any like particular hopes from what we want from this in terms of like creatively, story wise, character wise? Brian, what's your kind of take on all this?
I've always thought that the Pokemon series is perfect for a live action adaptation, especially nowadays in the kind of golden age of video game, movie, and TV show adaptations. I mean, we've kind of moved into this era where it used to be like comic book movies were the new hotness in like the late 2000s and into the 2010s throughout there. I mean, the entire decade was just the golden age of comic book movies. And now we're kind of in this space where, yeah, the comic book movies are still great. They're still a lot of fun. But I think starting with like Detective Pikachu and the first Sonic movie, we've really seen like this shift into just these really high quality video game adaptations. And I actually asked the directors of the Mario movie why that is. Like, why are we suddenly getting this like influx of quality? And they're like, well, because the people who grew up playing it and the people who like actually respect the source material are the ones making it. It's not just people like they did with like the original Mario movie. They were just making it to cash in on the brand and not really respecting the source material. Now we have people who grew up playing Mario and Pokemon and Sonic, and they're all involved in the process. And also the creators are involved with the process. Shigeru Miyamoto is an executive producer on the Mario movie. Takashi Iizuka consults with everything about the Sonic movie. So it's like we have this mark of quality that has emerged in a lot of these video game movies. And so Pokemon has been one of those where I've been like, why haven't they done like an adaptation of just like the mainline Pokemon story? Like, just give us Pokemon Red and Blue in a movie form or a live action TV show. I mean, a TV show is probably more realistic given how long those games are, and it'd be kind of hard to show like Red winning 8 badges and then going through the Elite Four and taking down Team Rocket. Like, that's almost has to be like a series rather than a movie if you want to do it the right way. So I'm all for this. I think that it's long overdue. Pokemon is the highest grossing entertainment franchise on the planet, and it feels like kind of a wasted and missed opportunity to not have already put out multiple movies, live action movies. Obviously, there's all the anime movies that have come out over the years, but like in this era where Mario, Sonic, Minecraft, all of these these massive video game IP are dominating at the box office, like how has Pokemon not jumped on that train? I don't know, but like I'm glad that there is more movement happening beyond just like, hey, if Ryan Reynolds wants to do another Detective Pikachu, we'll do it. I don't know, like, but like it's just wild to me.
Yeah, it is crazy, like the fact that we haven't even got like a sequel to Detective Pikachu after all these years, given how like well that movie did, and like just like the craziness that the Pokemon franchise is now with like the TCG, the games, like it feels like the franchise is at a point where like the popularity is so high that it's like they are leaving money on the table by not kind of giving fans this sort of stuff. It like you said, Brian, like they have the anime movies that they kind of consistently put out, but they don't have as much fanfare as they once did, back in the day when we had like Pokemon the first movie and Pokemon 2000 and all that sort of stuff. Now it just kind of feels like they do it just because they feel like they have to. So I am glad that they seem to be putting effort. They have like a relationship with Netflix at this point. They have that Pokemon Concierge series, which is like that stop motion thing, and I think they have another one with Aardman coming along as well. So like the fact that this relationship is kind of ongoing makes me hopeful that this thing is around the corner. I just wonder what like kind of form factor is. I think if it is the protagonist is Red, I wonder if they like either continue with Red as like the protagonist of a thing, if they see longevity in that, where it's like he's going to different regions, or if it's more like an anthology thing where it's like, okay, we're doing Kanto this season, then Johto next year, and Hoenn, and so on and so on. I think there's just a lot of potential with this. But Klein, what's your hopes for this? Are you excited as us? What do you think?
Of course, I'm excited. Like I'm a from day one Pokemon fan. I grew up with the franchise. I am so excited for Pokemon Legends ZA next week. But the big worry I have for a project like this is how's it going to look? Can we get enough budget? I think Netflix has enough money to throw around at a Pokemon franchise to make it look absolutely incredible. And I also want it to lean maybe a little older than you would think like a live action Pokemon show would. I'm not saying it needs to be R-rated Pokemon series, but like aim for that like live action One Piece or the live action Avatar The Last Airbender kind of audience. Like don't skew like I would say 5 to 10, maybe like 13 to 16 kind of like maturity level, and I think we would have a real winner. Netflix, I wrote about it over on my story at the Direct, but Netflix has a big kind of content gap coming up when Stranger Things ends later this year. They will be missing a massive tentpole for a certain kind of audience that I think Pokemon could fill that void very nicely. So they can throw a lot of money behind it, make it look incredible, and then over the next couple of years you have One Piece continuing, the Airbender show continuing, and then a live action Pokemon. Like that to me sounds like a great way to kind of fill the gap that Stranger Things is going to leave behind when it's done in December.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't imagine a world where we don't get that live action Pokemon project that we've all been hoping and dreaming for. I also made a point on my podcast about when they did like the Zelda franchise, kind of going back to your point about do they do it as like Red going through all the regions, or do they do it as an anthology? If they wanted to be lore accurate in the Legend of Zelda franchise, they should recast Link and Zelda every single movie.
That would
And
be awesome.
That would be so
it would
cool.
it would be hilarious, but also I think it would be shooting themselves in the foot if these characters are actually like well liked, like these versions of these characters. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool to have like that consistency. But like, I will say that like if they are ever going to do, they should not do an R-rated Pokemon movie. They absolutely should not. But it would be weird to have it be like too cutesy and too like too sanitized, just to try to appeal to the younger audience, because then I think they alienate a lot of the adults who really love Pokemon because, like me, they grew up with it. Like Pokemon turns 30 years old next year. And it's like, yeah, like so many people in their 30s and 40s grew up with these games and they want to go see a game that like respects them as viewers. And if they want to do an R-rated Pokemon movie, they should do Detective Pikachu 2. Just let Ryan Reynolds go full Deadpool.
What
Yeah,
I would say to that though, Brian, is when has Pokemon ever leaned into anyone older than like new Pokemon fans ever?
Yeah. That's fair.
right? Like something that I think, to bring in another franchise into this, something I think that Digimon has done very well is, as Digimon has aged, so has its new entries into the franchise. And so the Digimon fans that have gotten older are now like, they have these news, like the new Digimon series is very quite adult, and the new Digimon games is very quite adult because it is playing to those original fans. And you probably stifle some entry level fans, like any potential new fans jumping onto that. But Pokemon has done the exact opposite. Whereas Pokemon is, every new Pokemon game thing series is somebody's first new Pokemon game thing series, and they treat it as such. So they haven't really evolved or matured the franchise in any meaningful way, really, since it started. And so that's, I kind of get a little worried about a live action show. Is this just going to be this really, really childish young thing? I don't think it, as I said, I don't think it needs to be R-rated. I don't think you can do anything super mature even in the storytelling, because ultimately these are going to be a lot of like cute animals fighting each other, and if you lean more mature with that, it's going to get like really problematic really quickly. Like, I don't need to see Bulbasaur bleed, but I would like to see him get scuffed up a little bit.
Yeah, they did that. God, what was it was like a animated shorts that retold the story of Red and Blue, and it was like
Oh,
it was anime
Evolutions?
style. I think it might have been Evolutions, and there were some scenes in there where like it was a lot more violent than we ever got in like the mainline
Yeah.
Ash Ketchum anime, where it's like there's a scene where I think it's like, is it Charmander is biting Squirtle or Squirtle's biting Charmander like on the cheek, and it's like writhing in pain as it's biting him, and I'm just like, oh, this is like weird, because like you never really see like a Pokemon actually like sink its teeth into another Pokemon, and it's like, this feels kind of weird. So I understand what you're saying for sure, and I'm not saying like they need to go R-rated or
Oh
anything. I
yeah.
think it would be absurd for them to go
Yeah.
that route. I think that the smart play is like, give us something that's family friendly, like a light PG-13, because like movies aren't really rated PG anymore. Or I guess they're rated PG, they're not rated G, but like PG is so sanitized that like there's not going to be any violence allowed, which you need some because there's going to be battling. So I think like a light PG-13 where it's like you get some battling, you get some or I guess it'd be TVT. Is that what it would be in I don't
Yeah,
know if it's a series.
yeah, I've always forget the TV ratings. I always remember TVMA, but that's it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's obvious. So yeah, I think like a light PG-13 style where it's like there's not like cursing or anything, but there's some violence happening, I think is where they need to go.
Before
Yeah.
we leave the news, Tom, who's your Red? Who are you casting as
Who's my
Red in this
red?
show?
Oh, geez, putting me on the spot. I don't know. I haven't actually seen him in anything, but Ben Wang from like new Karate Kid movie. I feel like he
Oh,
could fit.
Oh,
He could get a bit
okay.
athletic with it. Yeah, but at the same time, Red's kind of a he's a silent protagonist like Link,
Yeah.
which is going to be another thing. So I wonder how they're going to adapt that to the screen, like whether they're going to really play into that or if they're going to make him a bit more of a character.
Brian?
Tom Holland, baby.
Oh, there it is.
Let's
It
go.
was either Tom Holland or
Let's
Timothy Chalamet. I mean, I don't have a real answer.
as Red.
God,
Tom Holland's the one that if you type into Google Images Pokemon live action, you get all sorts of AI slop filled with Tom Holland's face. So
I mean, he does kind of have like a red look to him. Like he looks like the Sprite, kind of.
Yeah.
I just think he might be like maybe Tom Holland Homecoming era Tom
Yeah.
Holland, but like
Yeah.
dude's almost 30. Like, I don't know if he can be Red anymore.
I'm leaving school to go out on an adventure.
Leaving my full-time job. Okay, that's going to do it for the news this week. Tom, Drew, give us that outro.
It's the news we choose. Yeah.
And we hop, or I guess triple jump, our way over to the meat and potatoes of the podcast. The reason we have Brian Shea here today, we were wondering, what should we do? Lauren's away. Let's do a Nintendo-themed draft. We are going to be doing the Mario Power Up draft. So we'll be selecting, each 4 power-ups as we go. Brian, much drafting experience when it comes to podcasting. I haven't heard a draft on the All Things Nintendo podcast. I think we should change that soon.
Hey, I've done drafts, just
Okay.
not very many. I do a lot of tier lists on like evergreen weeks where I need to either pre-record or there's nothing else going on. But yeah, I've done a few drafts. I don't remember which ones in particular. We drafted our dream Switch to year one lineup, which was a super fun time. That was
yeah.
right when Nintendo kind of confirmed that there was a Switch 2 coming, and we were like, let's take turns drafting our dream year one lineup, and that was a fun one. But yeah, you're right. There's not enough
How have
left.
you fared on that year 1 lineup so far?
Oh man, I don't think I
Not
did
well.
particularly great. No, I don't think anybody did particularly
It's
great.
okay. I think we did a very similar thing, and one of mine was an Ocarina of Time remake. So we're
Yeah,
still could happen. Who knows?
you never
But
know.
we'll be drafting the Mario power-ups today, and you may be asking, Klein, what is a Mario power-up? Well, we can discuss this definition, but I've kind of come up with this. Anything that comes out of a question block and changes Mario's state of being in any way. Does that...
The thing
or
is,
changes his power level?
some powers or some power-ups, and maybe you could argue they're not power-ups, but some you can kind of steal from enemies. At least some of the ones that I've seen.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Like the Lakitu Cloud or like the
What I
Buzzy
think-
Beetle helmet. You know,
What I
you can take
think
some of those.
will happen today is that is the definition I had just said is kind of like a baseline, but this is jazz. If something gets thrown out and it works, it works. However, I do want it to be up for discussion. We're not just gonna you can't come out here and throw out, I don't know, a coin. That's not a power up. Sure, it raises your score or whatever. Or even like a 1-up mushroom, I don't think would work. But if you want to get fun with it, I don't know. I just think it has to be from like the Mario franchise. Like I don't want any Smash Bros stuff getting thrown in here.
What about Yoshi?
Ryan's not into that. Okay.
No. I have one entry that is from a Mario franchise, just not the Super Mario franchise.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
I think we're thinking of the same thing.
Probably.
Okay. I think we can get into it pretty quickly, but before we do, I want to ask the two of you, what do you think makes a great Mario power-up? He's got so many.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like a case of how fun is it to use? The metric I'm using is that, in like the new Super Mario Bros. Games where you have like your kind of bank of power-ups saved that you can like go back to. Which one of those am I consistently going to? Like, am I going to the Fire Flower or going to the whatever other power-ups are in those games? What are the ones I'm prioritizing that like I need this on Mario over base Mario? Otherwise I'm having less fun.
I think for me, the look of Mario when acquiring this power-up does a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a cool, if Mario looks dope when he picks up this whatever, it's gonna do a lot for me. But Brian, are you kind of in the same ballpark?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like the power set is the big thing, but there's also like other contributing factors of like, yeah, it's great if this like allows you to defeat enemies in a really efficient manner or a really fun manner, but you have to feel awesome while using it. You have to it can also have side effects like allowing you to reach secret levels or secret areas, like things you couldn't otherwise reach without this power up. And then also like, side things, like some of them come with like special music. Some of them allow you to like do things that like you couldn't do in other games or in without it. So like it is really like a combination. It has to like all come together in a really cohesive way that feels good and feels powerful.
Okay. I think we should decide the draft order right now. Usually I would go over to wheelofnames.com. I would do that. I think we're going to have something a little more fun here today. I'm coming up with this on the spot, okay? To determine today's draft order, I want to know what is the most recent Mario game all three of us have played, and the draft order will be the order of release of those games.
So the most recent in terms of like what is the most recent game that has come out that we've played, or
No,
the last time we played a
Brian
Mario
Shea,
game?
what is the last Mario game you played?
Oh, I
Super Mario
mean,
64.
Super Mario 64.
Replayed it
Okay.
earlier this year.
Okay, Super Mario 64. Tom.
does Mario Kart World? Yeah, Mario Kart World. Does that count? Or are we
I'm
counting
only
mainline?
counting the Super Mario franchise.
Okay, I'll say I think it's probably Super Mario Brothers Wonder then.
And mine is something I just started for the first time this week, Super Mario Galaxy 2. So,
Oh, that's a good one.
it is a good one. Super Mario Galaxy is one of my top 5 favorite games ever, and this Galaxy 2 never happened on the Wii. I have my Wii sitting in a box right next to me right now, and so I'm very happy to be playing it. But that means the draft order will be Tom Drew going first, as he played Super Mario Wonder, and that came out. Was that last year?
Yeah, it was last
2023.
year.
2023. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
then it'll be me with Super Mario Galaxy 2, and Brian, you will get the corner with Super Mario 64. Okay. Tom Drew, take it away. The number 1 overall pick. Don't mess this up.
I
Go
just want to
ahead.
say again, like you even when you opted not to use the Wheel of Names like website, somehow I'm still going first. Like, how does this happen? This is so weird. Anyway, this is a really precarious place to be. I think I just have to go with a banger up front. I don't know how this is gonna go down, but Brian, you mentioned Super Mario 64. I'm going with the power up from 64. I'm going with the wing cap from
Oh,
Super Mario 64.
Oh,
interesting.
okay. Talk
It's
to me,
a
Tom.
yeah, it's an interesting one because there are different elements to it. Well, like when I was a kid, I sucked at using the wing cap. I like had no idea how to use this thing. It was like such a pain. But coming back to it, like when I was a bit older, it is really fun to like play with the momentum and like go up and down with Mario and figure out how to maneuver yourself in the air. Plus the music that plays when you're using the wing cap is just so it's just so iconic. It like just conjures up such um just like a floating energy. I don't even know how to like
Mhm.
describe it. But yeah, I just think the wing cap is a lot of fun to mess around with, especially the one star when you look up in Princess Peach's castle and you need to collect the red coins to get to the star in the middle of the platform. Just like really fun and creative uses of it in 64. Yeah, I really like it.
You mentioned sucking at it as a kid. I suck at it at age 38. It's unwieldy, I have found.
Is
Yeah,
it
it is.
inverted? I'm trying to remember. Is like the flight controls, are they inverted? Because that always messes with my brain.
I want to say it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Um. So it is a little. It was a little tough to wrangle. But I don't know. Once you kind of get in that
Once
rhythm,
you
I think
harness
like
it.
once you harness it,
Once you're in the wing
once you
cap
lock in,
zone.
yeah, when you're in flow state with the wing cap, I don't know. There's nothing better. It's so cool.
Okay, wing cap going number 1 overall, Super Mario 64. An iconic look. I can always think I love that piece of art, the 64 wing cap art where he's flying and got the castle behind him. I am going to go with my first round pick. I'm gonna go basic, but I love it, and it's like makes any Mario game way easier. It's just Fire Flower. Come on.
Okay.
Like again, alternate costume fan. I love the white and red Mario costume with the Fire Flower. I love when we got it in Smash. I use it all the time when I'm Mario. And dude shoots fire out of his hands. I mean, that makes it half of the challenge in any Mario game is dealing with enemies, and it makes dealing with those enemies so much easier.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of the first power-ups to ever appear in the Super Mario franchise. And it's appeared in almost, if not every game since then. So yeah. Well, I
What if
guess
they were to
not
come out
every.
one day and they announce a new Mario game and they're like, "Hey, guess what? No Fire Flower. It's not happening this time."
I mean, it wasn't in 64.
Was it
That's
not?
true. Yeah. You can't
So
get
does
it.
that mean? And I guess it wouldn't have been in Sunshine either.
Wasn't in Super Mario Brothers 2, the US version.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
there's a decent amount that it's
huh?
not in.
Yeah, there's a couple.
It's funny
Yeah.
when you think about it. But yeah, it's 3 world galaxy. Galaxy 2. So it's
One.
new. 1. Yep.
Yeah.
Can't forget 1.
I mean, I know this kind of breaks the conversation a little bit because I know we didn't want to mention Smash Brothers as much, but like I do like how the Fireflower has kind of informed Mario in that game, just like the key art, of him, his Smash 4 like key art where he's like got the fireball and like I don't know, he's like bringing it
Holding it like a
across. I
Hadouken.
think that's one of the hardest like images of all time. It goes so hard. It's so cool.
Images that go hard. Mario holding the fire in
Yeah.
Smash Bros.
You're
Honestly.
talking about like the pose where they did for the amiibo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
the
is so
the
cool.
amiibo one's sick because he's got the trail of fire coming out behind it.
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
it looks really good. Okay, Brian, you got 2 picks here, so give us your
All
first.
right. You mind if I get a little controversial here?
Get controversial.
Okay.
We love controversy.
love
We've been saying we need a controversy on the podcast. Is how we're going to go viral.
Well, we already went political earlier in the show, so we're one step there. Um, this is hotly contested. Is it a power up? I'm going Yoshi in Super Mario World.
I think it's a power up.
In that game in particular, he's a power up, and then he went on to become his own character. But he fits the criteria. Comes out of a question mark block or his own like Yoshi egg block. Changes Mario's power level. You know, he can get his own upgrades through that as well. But he gives at the very least, he gives Mario the ability to like walk on like kind of spikes. He gives him the ability to like smash enemies he couldn't otherwise smash. He can eat enemies that way, and it gives him an extra hit point. So I think that's like pretty by definition a power up, at least in Super Mario World. In future games, obviously it's a different story. He becomes more of an NPC than a power up. But yeah, that's my number 1 pick.
It was number 2 on my board. I was worried about bringing it up, but I'm so glad you did because I agree with you. I think it's a power up in specific games in World, even in Galaxy 2, which I'm just playing right now. Like that, I think he's a power up in that, even though he doesn't come out of a block. He's just kind of sitting there and you jump on top of him. He elevates you, like you go from small Mario, big Mario, Fire Flower, then you can add Yoshi on top of that. Like I think that it is distinctly a power up in the Mario world, but I don't know, Tom.
I like the
you
fact that also with Yoshi, like you can when you take damage, he'll run away, but you can if you catch up to him quick enough, you can get him back, which I think is a cool, unique thing with a power up like that. And another like ability that we haven't mentioned is that you can sacrifice him to get an extra jump. So that is also another feature. So I think that's useful in and of itself.
And same as some of the other power-ups, you need him to get to certain secret exits in Super Mario World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
I like the pick, Brian. Now, give us your second pick. You're gonna have half your team
You know,
right here done.
My number 2, I think I could get it in a future round. So I'm actually going to go to my number 3 here, which is also from Mario 64. So playing off of Tom's pick a little bit, it's the Metal Cap, where you can turn into Metal Mario. Not only are you pretty much invincible when you have this, but you can go underwater and like, you know, run along the ground in water, which allows you to access switches underwater, fight enemies. And then I think you're fireproof as well. And then it also plays one of just the coolest songs in Super Mario 64, which has a lot of bangers, I admit, but like it's an earworm that plays over and over and over again as you play it. And yeah, it's a great power up. And it's so much so that they put him in Super Smash Brothers. They put Metal Mario in Super Smash Brothers.
That was my introduction to Metal Mario. And you want to talk about images that go hard, Tom? When a Metal Mario or Metal character shows up on that classic mode screen in Super Smash Brothers Melee, nothing cooler. Nothing cooler. I also love in that game that all the Metal characters, yeah, they hit a bit harder. They don't take as damage. Like damage is a little more defense up. But if they get off the stage, they're fallen. They are heavy. Yeah. They are fallen.
I think if I'm not wrong, he's one of the few, if not the only, like Mario power-ups, quote unquote, to get his own like Mario Kart slot as like its own character. Like Metal Mario's just like his own dude. So respect for that. And also the other point that I just remembered. Like I don't know if it's gonna come up on anyone's list today, but I'll say it, I think it's cooler to use the metal cap than the invincibility star. Like, I think the fact that the music, the fact that you could just run through Goombas as the metal cap, or the metal Mario, I don't know. I think the power fantasy of that feels somehow inherently cooler than the invincibility stuff to me. But I don't know. I don't know
That's
if
exactly why I had it higher than the invincibility superstar.
Well, there you go.
Okay, my second pick. I'm so happy that Brian did what he did because being a hardcore Nintendo guy, Brian, I thought you were gonna go somewhere else. You didn't, and I'm happy. My number 3 on my board, number 2 on my team. What I think is the most iconic Mario image of all time. I am going the Tanuki suit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just who doesn't love a Mario in a raccoon suit? It's adorable. He does
PETA.
the little tail. Also,
Yeah.
you want to talk about utility in a game. Getting that P speed in Mario Bros. 3, running as fast as you can and jumping in the Tanuki suit and flapping the little tail and flying. Come on. When I figured that out for the first time playing, I didn't play the original Mario Bros. 3. I had Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3. And figuring out that I could like fly up and there was platforms in the sky, my brain was broken. So yeah, I think Tanuki suit, absolutely fantastic. Great stuff.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's iconic, and I mean the raccoon tail has just become like a secondary logo for Mario. Looking at Mario 3D Land in particular, like there is the raccoon tail off the logo just to like be like, hey, this thing that everybody loved from Mario 3 is coming back in this game. And yeah, I mean that's definitely one of his most recognizable power-ups in the entire history of the franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you can tell from my first pick with the wing cap, like I love the Tanuki suit. Like anything that can make me fly in a game, I'm gonna instantly fall in love with. And yeah, like the sheer power that you get in the Tanuki suit is like for such an adorable looking costume, I guess. The fact that you can do so much with it, I think, is great. And yeah, like the little like glide you can do with it, has saved me countless times. Play Mario games, so
I
yeah,
like
I
the
think
spin
it was
attack as
definitely on
well.
my list.
That
Yeah, the
I
spin
love
is
the
great too.
sound of the spin attack. I guess it's B, and you do the little spin. You hit the Goomba, and it makes this like really nice, satisfying like pinwheel sound. Almost is the only way I can describe it. Okay, Tom, your second and third.
Oh boy, where do I want to go with this now?
And now we can start having fun. I think like a lot of the major players are off the board. Now it's like personal taste.
Yeah, this is. I'm not gonna lie. I think some of mine are gonna be controversial. I know,
Oh
no
no.
Brian's saying Yoshi's, but this might turn some heads. I think for my second pick, I'm gonna go with the spring mushroom from Super Mario Galaxy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
I think a lot of people hate this one because it's so
I'm one of them.
it's so stupid. Like it's so dumb to control. Like Mario doesn't move around normally when you have the spring mushroom. If anything, it's like a massive hindrance. But I
He's like
kind
a
of love
slinky. He's like, wow.
it's like wait,
Wow.
what? it's it's great. I love the design too. The fact that it's just Mario and he's in a spring. Like he's not like got a spring like bottom half or anything like that. He's literally just confined in this prison. And it really emulates that for the player too. Because it's difficult to use. But I think when you get the hang of it, like when you perfectly like match that A press to get like that extended jump and you can access like higher areas. I don't know. It's similar. Am I just like a like I don't know. Am I a masochist? Like
Tom's
the wing cap is like,
your team name is Team When You Get the Hang of It, because that's also
Yeah.
what you said about the wing cap.
Exactly.
you know,
Most
just,
voters won't vote for it because they haven't experienced, they haven't entered that zone, but those who have,
Skills
yeah,
issue.
that's the one.
Mine is Team Get Good, basically. You know,
Yeah,
like, once
the
you
Dark Souls of
master
the
these,
Mario power up draft.
you will see what the potential of these things. Yeah, I don't know. I could have picked any other Galaxy item to be honest, but like the spring mushroom just speaks
I will
to
say
me. I
the
don't know. I
design
love
of
it.
the actual mushroom itself is one of the best
Yeah,
in the franchise. Like it's got like
it's
the
really cool.
the head is the little spring wrap up. It looks so cool. Good for you, Tom.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what people say about this. I guess it's my third one, isn't
It
it?
is.
It is.
Do I want to go for
I'm
another
trying to think what other
stupid
like
one?
I'm gonna beat my head against the wall Mario power-ups are there out there.
I don't. Oh, this is gonna be up for debate as well because there is an element of this that's also maybe frustrating, but I also love the creative potential with it. Like this is like all of these, like the potential is so untapped. And it's gonna be the double cherry from Super Mario 3D World.
That was the one that I skipped over because I thought I could get it.
Oh,
That's a
well, I'm
good
glad
one. I
I'm
love
Very
glad
that
you
good.
one.
get it. It's I think it's just such a it's so simple, right? It's just like you double Mario, you double Luigi, you double Peach. Like I think it's such a cool way of like informing the level design and like making sure you save enough Marios to like the end of the level so you can access like a different star or whatever. I just think they get a lot of creative use out of the double cherry in that game. It's like one of my favorite aspects of 3D World. And I'm kind of shocked they haven't brought it back. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they have used the double cherry. So I'd love to see them do something else with it, especially like now that the Switch 2 has more
How many
horsepower.
Marios
Like,
can we have?
yeah, let's go back to the original Super Mario 64 test demo and like make just so many Marios on the screen at once. I think that'd be sick.
But no, that's one of the coolest power-ups, and I think Nintendo has done like they usually have like gimmicks associated with all of their power-ups within the level design. And I think that the double cherry is among the coolest gimmicks that they've put together to like cater to a specific power-up.
It's some of the best
Yeah.
genuine puzzle platforming that we've gotten in a Mario game using that double cherry. Is like, how am I going to manipulate the level so that I can have whatever 2, 4, 6, 8 Marios, Peaches, Luigi's to land on these platforms. I love it when it's like you need like 2 on either side and there's a little pillar in the middle with a like angled ramps on either side, so you have to like jump over and like let it split so they fall down.
Yeah.
It is just so ingenious, and it's like, why didn't they think of it sooner, or why haven't they used it since? But when it is some of those 3D World levels where you do that in, it's just it feels so good. I would love to see what a more powerful console could do with those, because I was just playing 3D World a few months ago on the Switch because I have that remake, and or not remake, just the Switch release. And it's that double cherry is great. Okay, it's me now. I'm scared because like there's a lot of good stuff on here, and there's one in particular that I think I can leave for my last pick, and that's just like it's a me pick, but I'm really worried about Brian. So I am going to go. I have one Mario power up from the first Mario game. I have one from Mario 3. We're not counting Doki Doki Panic. Come on. I'm gonna take one from World. I'm gonna do the cape.
God! You guys took both of my last two picks.
Yep.
No.
That makes
Oh,
me
man.
so mad.
You want to talk about iconic Mario looks that have not returned? That Mario with the cape riding the Yoshi on the cover of Mario World that's a hard image. That is like that is art. It's fantastic. I love it's so many uses. As I said with the Tanuki suit, I love a good spin move. So you have that. Got the spin. You can jump in the air, you can fly, and then you can jump in the air and you can grab onto it like a parachute. And I love the sound of the parachute when you're up in the air. It's like that.
Yeah.
Wow, and you're just kind of like bouncing through the air. I remember playing through Mario World probably on the Wii Virtual Console. Doing it, I don't think I even finished it. Loving it. World is my favorite 2D Mario game. And then seeing a video somewhere, maybe probably on YouTube, and seeing somebody do the parachute, and I had no idea that was even an option, and thinking, oh my God, like I have to go back. Like I need to see if I can do it. And I couldn't figure out how to do it for the longest time. Though when you finally do, it feels so good. It's Super Mario. They gave him a cape. Like it is Super Mario.
Now imagine playing that game like, 13 years before YouTube existed. Because that was my experience. The cape is one of my favorite power-ups in the entire history of the Mario franchise. Mario World is my favorite Mario game, and that's pretty much just like the iconic power-up from that, outside of Yoshi, if you want to count that. But yeah, it's wild that we haven't really seen it come back too frequently.
No,
Yeah.
I guess it's in Smash Bros. Kind of like
Yeah.
the yellow cape move that he has. I guess is side B, where he like can
Yeah.
reflect. But
Yeah.
yeah, it hasn't
They-
come back really at all.
They should really utilize it. Yeah, like Klein, you mentioned like how you like went back and discovered how to do that technique where he's like holding the cape. I still don't. I can't do that. I still haven't mastered that, and I'm
You
part
can
of
master
Team
the
Get
wing
Good.
cap, but you can't master the cape.
Apparently not. I'm just
He's a
I
man with
need
a
to-
specific set of skills, Brian.
That's why it didn't make the cut. I was like, it's even too much for me. So
I don't even know if I
one
could
day I'll
describe to you
master it.
right now what you have to do. I just can like it's
You
muscle
just do
memory.
it.
Like I couldn't tell you the buttons in a Mario game because it's just that's run and that's jump. I don't even think about it anymore.
I think you have to hold down the run button and then press back and forth on the D-pad to like make him like lean forward and lean back to like grab the cape and like turn it into a parachute. But I also could be
Okay.
wrong. Even though I've played that game, I've probably beaten that game like 10 times, and I can't tell you what the controls are, because you're right. It is like just muscle memory, and it's like it's a testament to how intuitive the controls are in that game.
That's my number one plane, train, have a spare few minutes game. Let's just turn on Mario World. Start from the beginning, see how far I get, because the music, the color palette, that's my favorite Mario art style. The cape, of course. Yoshi. Oh, it's so good. Brian, you're going to round out your team. Final two.
My draft board was just decimated by you two in these last two picks. You could have kept the spring mushroom for all I cared, but the double cherry and the cape feather, those were my last two picks. So I don't want to go too controversial, because I do have something high up on my board right now that I don't think. Let me just float this. I'm not going to pick this because I think it's not necessarily a straightforward power up. The Wonder Seed from Super Mario Brothers Wonder, where you hit it and it's a different effect pretty much every time. I originally was going to make an argument that it could be a power up, but I think that it's too nebulous and like
because it's not even power. It is, because it can power you up. It can power the entire level up.
Yep.
It's kind of like
it's a level power up.
Yeah, it's kind of like the ultimate being / entity in the Mario world. Like it's literally it is the reality stone.
It's the
of
reality
the Mario franchise.
Wow, I never thought of that way. We need Thanos to come into the Mario cinematic universe and get the Wonder Seed.
About in my head now, like, is in the Mushroom Kingdom, is the Wonder Seed like God? Like, are the Toads like are they honoring the Wonder Seed for its like reality shifting powers?
See, I started thinking like, are there other Infinity Stones in the Mario universe?
Yeah,
like Time Stone. What slows down time?
I swear there's a Mario power up somewhere that slows the time down.
Space Stone. There's got to be something in Galaxy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the stars. What do power stars really do? Like, they just kind of like the grand.
They tell you won the level.
They power.
Yeah.
You literally
you
get more of them, and Rosalina's space station gets.
I guess so.
More powerful.
Yeah, it's the Power Stone.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
What's the Soul Stone? Yoshi.
Yoshi, because you have to sacrifice him. A soul for a soul.
Breaker.
He's Vormir.
Anyway, Brian, you stalled long enough.
I'm gonna go with the Lucky Bell from Super Mario 3D World that turns you into a cat.
Meow. Yep.
They are very adamant that it is not a cat costume. It is actually a cat transformation. They have
what?
Very
no. Where?
Really?
When? When have they said that?
Nintendo has said that. I believe Shigeru Miyamoto himself has said it is actually a
Mario
cat
is
transformation.
not wearing a cat suit. He is feline now. He is a cat.
Mario is not a furry, so he's just actually That's just
Unless
the
he's
thing.
wearing a
animal.
raccoon suit. That's like he is a raccoon furry, but he is not a cat furry.
No, I honestly I do think it is in like response to one, they want it to be more magical than him just wearing a costume. But two, I think it might be in response to like PETA being like, hey, this is like him taking the skin of a raccoon and putting it on, and like that has actually been a
Whoa.
controversy. They have been very adamant against the Tanuki suit.
Mario, known raccoon hunter, skinned all these
Exactly.
poor animals.
So yeah, the
Where's
Lucky
their
Bell.
pelts?
Basically, the Lucky Bell is like a ninja version of Mario. He can climb walls that he couldn't otherwise climb. He can do all kinds of like ninja, like dive kicks and stuff. So like, I don't know, he's fun to control, and you can get to areas that you couldn't otherwise get to.
I love the 45-degree angle dive. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite Mario moves. It is so just like satisfying, especially at the end of a level when you're trying to get that flagpole and you jump and like dive towards it, or you're like, because those levels are kind of open world, you can manipulate the geometry sometimes where you're like diving to a complete other part of the level and you just keep holding. It's so cool. Watch a good 3D world speed run, and they do lots of fun stuff with the dives.
Absolutely.
I'm specifically with the Lucky Bell, like I'm pretty sure that's the one where if you basically ground pound, it turns him into like the golden statue, and then like you get coins as you fall down too. So like I think that's like a
I think that's the coin block, right? I think that's like if you get like the coin block on your head.
Yeah, but you can also do it with the. I don't know if it's
With
the
cat suit?
specific
Or not cat suit.
with one of them.
Line transformation.
I don't think it's the base cat.
Oh,
there are two cat suits. There's a Super Bell and there's a Lucky Bell, and the Lucky Bell lets you get the statue when you ground pound, and that gives you a bunch of coins when you like stand.
So it is like a Tanuki suit.
Yeah.
That also turns into like a stone statue, right?
Yeah.
But Brian, as you said, not a suit.
Not
it's
a suit.
literally changing
it's
the
him.
plumber's genome. It's
Tanuki
going in and
transformation.
rewriting his DNA.
Hey, I mean, that's what Odyssey was, right? Like it was him like transforming in. I was tempted to put Cappy on here because that is the ultimate power up, but I feel like that's kind of cheese. Like that's a little bit of a cheat code is doing Cappy, because then you get all of the transformations, or sorry, captures. They like the word capture for that one. They're very particular with their verbiage at Nintendo. Oh boy, final pick for me. Do I do it? Do I go? I'm gonna go Blue Shell. Is that fair? It's a Mario power up from Mario Kart.
From Mario Kart.
Okay.
Does that count? You get it out of an item block.
Yep.
It's OP, but it is an offensive weapon. If it doesn't count, I do have a backup, but I wanted to throw that out.
I don't know. I think that there are some things from other games that Mario's a star in that I would say yes to, but I don't think that a Mario Kart power-up would count.
I just don't know if it changes him enough, like physiologically. Like the Lucky Bell turns him into
physiologically.
Like it doesn't change him as a person, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a Blue Shell that does change him as a person in New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, where I don't know if he becomes a turtle, but he wears a shell. So.
Doesn't change him as a person. There's no character development. It's not a tragic backstory like Batman's parents being killed. Changed him as a person.
I woke up and I became a cat.
All right. In that case, I'm going to go pretty far down my list here, and I'm going to do the Bubble Flower from Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
Oh.
Because not only can you catch enemies in a bubble, but it also allows you to use those bubbles as platforms. Like you can throw a bubble out, it floats up a little bit, you can jump off it and reach areas that you couldn't otherwise reach. It's a multiple utility power-up. And I don't think the power-ups in Mario Wonder get enough love because the Wonder Seeds are such like the center of attention there. And I actually prefer the Bubble Flower over the Elephant Fruit that turns him into an elephant, even though that's the iconic look from that game.
That one does literally turn him into an elephant. There's no suit action going on there.
Yeah, there's no disputing that for sure. I think I agree. Like the Bubble Flower was my go-to if I ever wanted to go into a level with like the optimum moveset. Bubble Flower is always the one I would go to because it is so satisfying to basically just see these enemies like float off and like be able to do nothing essentially against your bubbles. So it's cool.
You say it's the most underrated power-up in that game. I think that just Wonder overall.
Well, that's what I was
Wholly
saying.
underrated.
I think that
Like,
the power-ups in Wonder are just completely
yeah.
overshadowed by the Wonder Seeds.
And well, that game as a whole, I just don't think people. It is a 10 out of 10 fantastic Mario 2D platformer, and it does not get the love that it deserves.
Yeah, it's the
I
best
like them
Mario
both.
platformer, or at least the most creative Mario platformer since Mario World, the 2D
Oh,
platformer.
I would say it's the best 2D platformer easily.
Wow.
I like Wii. I do like Wii U as well. I just hate that art style. That new Super Mario Bros. Art style is just gross. Do not like
I mean,
it.
I would take Wonder over any of the new Super Mario Brothers, and I like those games overall. But I think Wonder and World 3 and Wonder is how I would do the top 3 2D platformers of Mario.
Okay. My last pick. I'm noticing I'm going to have a team full of abilities to fly. I don't care. I'm picking my favorite power up for my favorite Mario game. Let's turn Mario into a bee. The
Hey,
bee mushroom from Mario Galaxy. I love that it's not just a linear flight that he gets. It kind of is like it would be like a bell curve of some sort. Like he kind of hovers a little bit, and it kind of gets this nice little arc to him. He's so cute in the bee costume. I love the Honey Hive Galaxy. I love that music. It's good. I don't think he's literally turning into a bee in this costume, but he could be.
It's possible.
Could be.
Could be. There you go.
I like how
Yeah, I
fuzzy
also
he
like.
is too. It's very
Yeah, it's
fuzzy.
fuzzy. Yeah, he's normally has the fuzzy mustache, but now he's all fuzzy all over with with his power up. Yeah, the thing I like about it is as well, in addition to the flight, the fact that certain walls or even characters in the game, you can crawl on them. You can basically become Link in Breath of the Wild. So I like that aspect of it. It introduces cool things with the platforming. Like there's one where you have to climb a tower and it's shooting water down at you, and you have to use your flight and
When you
your
can't
kind
get
of
wet.
yeah, exactly. I think that's a cool angle of nerfing a power up in the way. I thought it was kind of interesting. So yeah, I like the bee mushroom.
From the Super Mario Brothers wiki, touching the bee mushroom transforms Mario into Bee Mario.
Why does he still have a human face though?
Hey,
He does his cat Mario too. That's how it goes.
Well, we learned a lot about Mario's physiology today. He's not just a plumber from Brooklyn. He apparently is Beast Boy and can shape shift into any animal he so chooses. Okay, Bee Mario, love it. Tom, round out your team.
Right.
I think the options are limitless.
Yeah, they really are. I was literally scouring through the Mario wiki has the list of power-ups, and there's so many good ones. Arguably the one I'm gonna pick, is it that great? I don't know, but I think it's
Wow,
funny.
you're really doing wonders for your team today.
I think it's just hilarious. But also it is up for debate whether this is a power-up or not, so we'll see if this passes through. I'm gonna pick the Goomba's shoe from Mario World, / Mario Maker. And I say / Mario Maker.
World or 3?
It was 3.
Is it 3?
Oh,
yeah,
3,
the shoe
sorry.
you jump in, the boot.
Yeah. But I also have Mario Maker in that too, because of the fact that you can have a stiletto version of the costume. And I just think that's hilarious. And the funny thing is, yeah, give him a little, give him a little stink eye. But the fun thing about
3D World, right?
I think they put that in there too. Yeah, so you can do that too. But it can also let you ground pound, in that version as well in Mario Maker. I'm pretty sure. Which I just think is fun. But I don't know. Yeah, Sassy Mario. I think that's just a fun idea, isn't it?
I think
that's absolutely a power up.
Yeah,
absolutely a power up. If Yoshi's a power up, the Goomba shoe's a power up.
It doesn't come out of a block, but it is what it is.
I remember,
is the shoe used in the giant level in Mario 3, like the giant world? I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, where you're fighting the kaiju-sized Goombas.
One of the coolest worlds in any 2D Mario, especially back then when you saw that, and you're like, "What? They can get huge."
Oh. Yeah.
Again, sitting in the back of my parents' Dodge Caravan, Game Boy Advance, little light hanging out over it, dark road trip, and getting to that world for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, what? the Goombas were hard enough to deal with when they were this big. Now they're the size of like a skyscraper.
Yeah, just wild. But yeah, like I just also like how it lets him, like if there's any spikes, normally those are there's one of the few things that will be an insta kill. But with a Goomba shoe, you can walk on spikes all day and look sassy while doing it. So I think that's fun.
The Goomba's shoe that rounds out your team, and that rounds out this draft. Let's go through our teams quickly, and then we can throw out any honorable mentions before we get to what we've been playing. Brian, you are the guest, so what does your team look like?
My team is Yoshi from Super Mario World, Metal Cap from Mario 64, the Lucky Bell from Super Mario 3D World, and the Bubble Flower from Super Mario Brothers Wonder.
And I had the Fire Flower, the Tanuki Suit, the Cape Feather, and the Bee Mushroom.
And I had the Wing Cap from Mario 64, the Spring Mushroom from Mario Galaxy, Double Cherry from Mario 3D World, and the Goomba Shoe from Mario Brothers 3.
Any honorable mentions that we want to throw out? I'll shout out the new Super Mario Bros. Wii propeller hat.
That was a close
very
one.
satisfying, especially actually using it. It might be the most satisfying power up to use because you shake the Wiimote and you shoot straight up.
Yeah.
I mean, the Superstar and the Super Mushroom.
Yeah.
I think honorable mentions just because they're so iconic. They're just, kind of basic and overplayed at this point.
I did have written down the original Super Mario Brothers 2, I guess Lost Levels here, Poison Mushroom, because that's just devious.
That's a power down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough right there. Yeah. Brian mentioned the blue shell. I did almost pick the blue shell from New Super Mario Brothers, the one that turns you into a Koopa basically, because you can get some momentum. I know we've talked about a couple of items that let you go really fast, but that one you can really speed through levels and do them really quickly, because once you're in that shell, it's game over for everyone else. You're just speeding through that thing.
What about oh, sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say the frog suit in Mario 3. It's not fun to be on land in that thing, but it changes it makes water levels not suck, which is a huge accomplishment in those early 2D games. And by the way, that is actually a frog suit.
Okay.
Not a transformation.
He is not turning into a frog. Okay.
Oh, wait, never mind. The frog suit transforms Mario or Luigi into Frog Mario or Frog Luigi. Okay. Never mind. I stand corrected by the wiki.
Okay.
But it's called the frog suit. Very confusing.
A lot of implications there.
The new Super Mario Brothers franchise has gotten a bit of hate here, but the Mega Mushroom, I think it's called, from the original Super Mario Bros., where you turn into Kaiju Mario and smash the geometry, is fantastic. And then the Mini Mushroom, where you can get into those little tiny, basically you turn into the Minish Cap powers from the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. Turn into go into those little tunnels and stuff.
Yeah, those are both great. And I wish they used I think if they used the Mega Mushroom more, it would have made my list, but it's so one-off in a lot of those. And it's okay, well, it's just the get this to win power up.
Yeah, pretty
the
much.
The one controversial power up I had on my list that I thought about bringing up but did not was the Donkey Kong hammer.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Oh. Yeah, is that a power up?
It is. What do you mean?
I guess it is.
It absolutely is a power up, but it's not been in any mainline Mario games, has it?
It's just Donkey Kong.
And Smash Brothers.
And I love Smash Brothers.
Sure.
We play this version of Smash Brothers in this house on a custom stage I call the Cube. And it is a box with a tiny hole at the top. And it's a tiny box with two bumpers in the corners. And the only items are Pokemon, gold hammers, and regular hammers. And
amazing.
You put 8 people in there. You land, and then you basically let go of the controller because you're just going to be bouncing around for the next 15 minutes.
It was hell.
Awesome.
It was crazy.
That is fantastic.
We love the Cube. Okay, that's going to do it for our Mario Power Up draft. Thank you so much for drafting with us, Brian. Let's head on over to what we've been playing. Guys, I want to stick on the platforming topic. I want to continue to talk about platforming, different kind of platforming. I have been playing a game for review, a game that I have no history with, but I'm interested to know if either of you have played this franchise at all. I've played Yooka Replaylee, and I would like to say I really enjoyed my time with this game. I heard a lot of guff about the original ukulele, that it maybe felt a little outdated when it came out, and the way it doled out power-ups, or new moves maybe felt a little bit weird. I didn't have any issues with that. I think they've completely updated that with the Replaylee kind of repackage. I think that, yes, this game does feel like we just continued making 3D platformers from the Nintendo 64 the way we did then, and it's got a nice new coat of paint and plays a little bit nicer, and the frame rate's better. But I like really enjoy those kind of experiences, and I think it's got so much of this like beautiful, rare charm. It feels so Banjo Kazooie. It is obviously it's platonic, former rare people for the most part, but like it's got this amazing sense of humor. There's a character named Trouser who's a snake. I think that's hilarious. And it's does the levels are just so much fun to kind of pick apart. They're these nice little open world, not too big, not too small environments that you run around in, collecting collectibles, finding secrets, doing unique little platforming challenges. I will say a highlight of this game for me is the bosses. I think the boss fights are amazing. They are so much fun. That first world you go into, you kind of have this ramp that you're rolling up and getting to the top, and then punching out this kind of big rock face's teeth. I love that. I think the moves that you have is awesome. You have this roll where the chameleon, which I think is Yooka, rolls up and the bat Laylee is on top, and like you barrel roll essentially up hills and things like that. You have this like sonar blast you can do. You can turn, of course, you're a chameleon, you can turn invisible to get past cameras. His game has so much charm. I'm really liking it. I have not 100% finished it yet. I will be going back to the worlds and trying to find all the secrets I can, but like this is it feels like a new Banjo Kazooie game for people who have been like wanting that, but it doesn't feel like a modern Banjo Kazooie game. There is a lot of things in here that it is very much that formula. There is just going to be so many collectibles to find, and the story is going to be kind of okay. But like you're really just there to like walk up to these kind of bite-sized challenges and figure out, how do I get that collectible? How do I get that thing that I can see, but I can't really figure out, whether it be a puzzle, a enemy or boss, a specific platforming challenge. I loved it. Also, there's like cool cameos. I ran into Shovel Knight and was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing here? Like, this is hilarious." He's like, "Yeah, I got in the wrong game. I'm in the wrong dimension because he's in 3D now." It's like, this is so good. But yeah, Yooka Replaylee, I highly recommend. It's out right now. I played on PC, but I'm pretty sure it's on everything.
Yeah.
PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. Brian, I know that this is kind of your bag, like the 3D platformer, platforming in general. Do you have Yooka Replaylee history or ukulele history at all? Like, have
Yeah,
you touched the franchise?
I reviewed both the first two ukulele games for Game Informer. I actually prefer Ukulele in the Impossible Lair, which is the sequel. And that one, because like, Platonic is made up of a bunch of ex-Rare guys, like the Rare that was around when they were developing Donkey Kong Country and Banjo Kazooie and all those games. And Ukulele is very much that, like, hey, we're going to make a spiritual successor to Banjo Kazooie without the Banjo Kazooie license, because Microsoft owns that now. And we're going to make it basically feel like those games did, but with like, modern graphics and everything. If you would believe that, Yooka Replaylee, you just said this does not feel like a new Banjo Kazooie game. There's a lot of like antiquated stuff. That's the modernized version. The version I reviewed had a lot more of kind of the antiquated stuff.
Apparently, the camera was all wonky in the old
The camera was
game,
kind of a
and like
nightmare.
this, other than a few technical hiccups, I saw with just like frame rate drops in some of the busier levels. There's one like room in particular that has these like factory presses behind a piece of glass on one side, and every time the press dropped, so did the frame rate. Like it would just
Wow.
stutter every time but once you leave the room, it was okay. There was a few little things like that, but I think the camera controls, they've completely, again, this is the Replaylee, this is the remake, this is the modernization. They have changed a few of the gripes. I was reading some of like the classic ukulele reviews just to see kind of what the common complaints were. And as far as I can tell, like a lot of it has been alleviated. Specifically, I know a big complaint for a lot of people was the fact that a lot of these moves that you get, I guess, were doled out throughout the game, whereas this, you just have them all right at the beginning, which does make it feel like when you drop into a world a little bit like drinking from a fire hose, because you now have access to everything that world has to offer, plus the new collectibles that they've added, and there's new worlds. So you drop in and it's like, oh, there are 50 of the pages, which is their version of stars, in this particular level, I can go and get every single one of them right now, but how many do I actually need to like progress? Like I was finding
Yeah.
after the first world, I was finding that after I think I played that first world for like 3 hours, and I'm like, I feel like this is getting kind of stale. And then I went back to the hub and I can go and unlock the next thing. And then I got to the next world and then it opened up a whole new sort of like push forward for me. So it maybe introduces its own new set of problems by giving you all of the moves at the same time. But I don't
Yeah.
know. You reviewed the original, so I'd be interested to see what you'd think of this new game.
Yeah, I played like the opening hour or two of Replaylee, just to check it out. I was playing it on Switch too, and it runs pretty well. And it's just a matter of like, wow, this is kind of overwhelming since you have all the abilities unlocked from the jump, or at least most of them. I don't know if it's all of them, but I don't know. It just kind of felt like, oh yeah, I remember this area from when I reviewed this game like 8 years ago or whatever it was. I don't really feel compelled to go back to it because I already played through it once and I thought it was a good 3D platformer, not a great 3D platformer. So it's like I have so much other stuff I need to play right now. That said, The Impossible Lair, which is basically like Platonic's attempt at making a spiritual successor to Donkey Kong Country, is fantastic. And you should absolutely play that if you love like the 2D Donkey Kong Country games.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. That is, especially for a long time after Ukulele came out and we had that big lead up. I think it was a Kickstarter game, big lead up. Everyone's so excited. It comes out, and I was following the industry at that time. I was listening to podcasts, hearing people talk, and when it did eventually release, it was very negative. It was like this is exactly how we feel we left these 3D platformers and nothing more. And that was a bit of a bummer to some people. So when Impossible Lair came out, I was like, do I even need to like check? I didn't clue into what it even was. I'm like, is this more of the first game? What am I looking at? And ever since then, I've been told, no, this is the hidden Donkey Kong Country game, and this is the good ukulele. What I will say is like Replayly, it's not a 10 out of 10 by any means, but if you are itching for that 3D platformer like Phil, if you were really, if you were that person like me who is asking and predicting and going, man, when's Banjo Kazooie going to come back? You can go and experience a new version of that here. Like there are new levels, there are new characters, there are new things to collect. It just is not going to feel like leveled up in any way. This isn't Mario going from 64 to Galaxy or to Odyssey, or Zelda going from Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild. Like this is very much like, oh, we made Banjo Kazooie 3. It looks a lot nicer. It runs a lot smoother. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be interested to check out
I think you
this
would really
potentially just
like it, Tom.
yeah, because I didn't play ukulele back in the day because of like the kind of the negativity around that game and just like it not being up to snuff in a lot of areas. So I'd be just interested to check this out. But yeah, like Brian mentioned, like I've just been hearing a lot of praise from like for Impossible Lair. So that's kind of what I think I'd be more inclined to check out first potentially, and then maybe if like the character's enough, then Replayly might be on my list.
Brian, have you heard about this Nico Dorico game?
I've heard about
I
it.
don't.
I have not
It is it
I've
is
not played
also
it.
supposed to be like a great Donkey Kong Country successor, almost to the point where I've looked at some of the level design and character art, and it's like Nintendo would maybe have some things to say if this got too big, but it's supposed to be pretty good. I think it's on PlayStation and Switch. Brian,
Yeah.
what have you been playing over the last little while?
I know you guys are in the middle of doing kind of like a playthrough of this game, but Ghost of Yotei, just fantastic. It's everything I wanted in a successor to Ghost of Tsushima, which is one of my favorite games of all time. And the story is more personal this time around. The exploration is a bit more, I would say, natural feeling. It doesn't feel like I have to be like my hand held to go to everywhere that I want to like find a new place. It's just like, oh, like there's little like indications that there's something cool nearby. And like I keep trying to do like the mainline path of Ghost of Yotei, and I keep getting pulled off that mainline path to go explore for like new like altars or new hot springs or whatever, like new side missions. And it that's the mark of a great open world, is that you keep getting distracted by stuff in it. And but coming into this game, Shinobi Art of Vengeance was my game of the year, and I think Ghost of Yotei has kind of taken that slot. And I'm only like, a third of the way through the story.
It's really, really good. How many hours do you think you've put in? Like, how many, I guess, a good demarcation, how many of the Yotei 6 have you offed?
2. And
Okay.
I've put in about 16, 17 hours.
Is that 2 on top of the, like, have you personally killed 2? Because I know, like, the game kind of opens with one of them being taken off the board. Or is it 2 total or gone?
2 total.
Oh, okay. You are
so
taking your time.
I like I said, I keep getting distracted by like cool stuff to do in the world.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tom, are you also Yoteiing still?
I haven't had as much time to Yotei, unfortunately.
Why is that, Tom? Why is
because
that?
there's another game that snuck up on all of us, and that's Hades 2, which
Fair point.
by all accounts is a very good game. And I know I've been playing Silksong for the past couple podcasts. I've mentioned it, like I've been trying to get through it, but like at the same time, I'm like, I don't want Silksong to end just yet. I'm like, I've gone to Act 3, and I'm like, I want this to last a little bit longer. So I'm kind of holding off and on finishing it. I will definitely finish it before the end of the year, but in the meantime, playing Hades 2, I think I've gone to the third boss, going down to the underworld. I haven't beaten it yet though, so I'm just kind of trying to get my way through. I'm also like, I didn't realize that, like, I thought I'd unlocked the kind of other route that you can get, but there's also other prerequisites that you have to do before you can do all of that. So like, I'm almost there. I'm almost at the point where I can actually do that stuff. But God, the game is just like immaculate. The like, the moment I think that there's not anything else the game can like offer me, it just adds another curveball or another power up or another like thing that alters the way I play, that just makes it like so engaging. Like Supergiant has just knocked it out of the park with the sequel, and like, I'm addicted. Like, I can't stop doing runs. It's gonna become a problem sooner or later. So, but yeah, just a really good game.
Just do one run before bed every night. It's like your Duolingo.
I can't do that because then I'll be up until 3 a.m. Like that's like a dangerous game to play.
Ultimate one more time or one more run type of game.
It's just there's so many layers. As you said, I am 25 hours into Hades 2, and like maybe not every run, but I would say at least every 3, I'm coming back and something interesting new has happened. Not just like conversation wise, like not just, oh, there's new people to talk to. It's like, oh, there's actually a new game mechanic being introduced still. And by all accounts, from what I've heard, that continues for perhaps another 20 hours, which is insane. There's still so much in this game, and I'm really looking forward to diving into the rest of it. Tom, do we have any comments this week in our comment corner?
Yeah, we have a couple here that I'll just shout out quickly. We posted a kind of just like a highlight from our PAX discussion of us talking about Pokemon Legends ZA and Kirby Air Riders. So we got a comment here from @IcarusFalls, and they say, "I'm glad this was recommended on my homepage. Subbed fire emoji. Thank you, Arceus, for the algorithm." Yeah, shout out Arceus. He did us a solid. And also on our previous episode, we talked about the best open worlds in gaming. We heard from Ryan Cortero, once again, our boy, who chimed in saying, "As much as I love the comic book world of Insomniac Spider-Man games, I think Tsushima is a better open world with the wind navigation, side quests that pop up, and just how beautiful it looks. The next Spider-Man game will really need to elevate the open world, since we've seen it multiple times now." So I just want to throw it to Brian. This is probably putting you on the spot, but between Ghost of Tsushima and Spider-Man, which of those open worlds do you prefer?
They're so different. That's like really tough. Man, that is an impossible question, because those are two of my favorite open worlds of all time.
This is the thing. That's the conundrum we faced.
I feel like
last week we did a bracket, and this was the final.
I feel like I almost have to give it to Spider-Man just because the navigation is so much better. Yeah. Not that I hate the navigation in sorry, my phone is vibrating. I was like, what does that sound? not to say like the navigation in Ghost of Tsushima is bad by any stretch, but like it's just so much fun to swing around as Spider-Man. And yeah, and also that rendition of New York is fantastic. And it hurts so bad not to say Ghost of Tsushima / Yotei, but like, yeah, I'm going Spider-Man. Also, all the Easter eggs for like other heroes that may or may not be in that universe. That's one of my favorite things to do in the Spider-Man and in the future Wolverine game is pick apart like, all right, who exists in this universe? And I've
Yeah.
actually compiled all the villains that exist in the Spider-Man side of the universe. Anyway, I'm gonna dive in once we have more information on Wolverine, because I think all we've seen so far has been Mystique, Omega Red, and a Sentinel in the
Yeah.
Wolverine trailer. But yeah, there's a lot of really cool villains that like a lot of people probably don't even realize exist in the Spider-Man games. Because they're just like relegated to like a quick Easter egg or like a side thing that a lot of people maybe skipped. But yeah, God, and I'm also a Marvel mark, so I'm probably gonna go Spider-Man by like
I was gonna say the Marvel vs.
Yeah.
Capcom 2 machine behind you kind of, so I think painted a picture of where you're gonna go with that.
yeah. It's
This
tough,
week's
though.
comment corner question of the week is, what is your favorite Mario power-up? We just did a draft, so let us know how did we do, and tell us what is your favorite power-up in the Mario franchise. And as Brian mentioned, yes, we are playing Ghost of Yotei for our New Game Plus Video Game Book Club Game of the Month for October. So play along with us, and then at the end of the month, we'll do a full deep dive discussion on that. As always, go follow the show at Controller Club Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky, at Controller_Club on Twitter, and at Controller.Club on TikTok. Also, if you're listening right now, you can watch us each and every week. We put the video version of the podcast over on YouTube, as well as our best segments and clips from the past, and rate and review us wherever you're listening right now. 5 stars, 5 stars. It really helps out. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's a pleasure to have you. Where can people keep up with you, and what do you have exciting going on?
Oh man, thank you so much for having me. It's always so much fun to come on the show. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Brian P. Shea. You can find my work over at GameInformer.com or subscribe to Game Informer magazine. There's the physical edition that's available to just US people. Sorry, guys. And then the digital version is available worldwide. And yeah, just a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe. We're getting closer and closer to getting ready to ship our next issue. But right now, you can subscribe and get the Outer Worlds 2 issue, which has a quite cool cover. Every once in a while, we'll do a special font treatment that matches kind of the vibe of the cover. This is one of those options or those opportunities that we took because it's such a unique looking game that we wanted to highlight kind of the font to match the vibes that the picture was giving off. So I think we've only done that like 3 times in my entire time being at Game Informer. So it is quite rare that we get those. So yeah, that is available if you subscribe now.
That is one of my favorite like geeky magazine things, is when it's like you do something bespoke depending on the cover. I remember Nintendo Power back in the day doing some fun things with that, and yeah, Game Informer has done a few throughout the years, and I really like that because it does make it feel just a little bit more special. It's like, oh, like
Yeah.
this really is the Outer Worlds 2 issue. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we did it with Darksiders one time, and that was, I think, the far and away the most popular one because it almost turned our logo into like a metal band's logo, which was really cool.
Awesome.
And also, yeah, all things Nintendo, a podcast that hits every Friday in your podcast feeds, and there's a Patreon that you can support the show if you so choose.
Excellent. Tom, where can people keep up with you, and what do you have going on in your life?
Yeah, you can find me at Tom Duart, Instagram, Blue Sky, basically everywhere on the internet. I'm continuing my drawing challenge that I'm doing throughout October, so posting drawings daily. I haven't actually posted the one that is supposed to go up today, so as soon as this podcast ends, I'm gonna do today's one. But if you want to see what I've done over the past, couple, I guess coming up to 2 weeks at this point. I think Zelda was yesterday from Breath of the Wild. Just gaming related, which is fun. But yeah, check that out. That's about it.
Great stuff. And you can keep up with me as always. I'm at the Kleinfelt, TheKleinFelt. That's going to wrap up another episode of Controller Club. As always, thank you so much for listening. Now, let's get gaming.